Hey, are you planning on moving out west but can't decide between BC or Alberta? Well, in today's video, I'm going to discuss the major differences between two cities, Calgary and Kelowna, to help you make the decision that's going to suit your lifestyle. Let's take a look. Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel, BrettBRealestate. I, of course, am BrettBRealestate, and like I said at the top of the video, today we're going to be looking at two cities, Calgary and Kelowna, and comparing them against each other. But before we get started, if you're enjoying this video, please hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, and hit that notification bell so you can get notified as soon as I post my next video. Alright, so whether you already live out west or you're planning to move, finding the right province and city that suits your lifestyle is a big decision. The cities we're going to be talking about today are Calgary, Alberta, and Kelowna, British Columbia. Both fantastic cities, each with their own merit. And if you're still debating between these two cities, my goal is to provide you a little insight about what it's like to live in each to help you make your decision. Of course, I'm going to do my best to not let my bias come in play, but full disclosure, I do currently live in Kelowna, British Columbia. But the good part about this is I have lived in both cities. When I initially moved out west, I moved to Kelowna, lived here for a year before making a change and moving to Calgary for a couple of years until I eventually missed the mountains, missed BC, and moved back. So I do feel a little justified making a comparison video between these two cities because I feel like I have a solid idea of what each place has to offer and what might attract or deter a person. So without further ado, let's get started. So the first point I want to go over is weather. So I bet when you think about these two places and you think of weather, you're gonna say that Kelowna is definitely the clear winner in this situation. And well, you're right. But I don't think it's as big of a slam dunk win as most people would think. Each kind of have their good and bad. Now, Kelowna is known for its beautiful, hot, long summers and its short, mild winters. Having moved here from out east, it was absolutely amazing to take in the first winter here. It got as cold as about -10. I mean, I've been playing tennis in February in shorts and a t-shirt. I've been skateboarding into December. There's not really anywhere else you can get that. The only issue is some summers it gets actually so hot that we start to peak into the mid-40s, which for most people is going to be too hot. The good thing about Kelowna is it's a dry heat, so even if it is too hot, you pop in the shade and you're easily 10 to 15 degrees at times cooler. And some of these hot, dry summers can spark wildfires, which we're definitely already experiencing this year, but it's actually an inverse where Alberta is kind of getting the worst of it. And yes, the winters are so manageable here. It's probably an average of around 0, -5, and that beats the hell out of 8 months of -40 out east. But I will say it can tend to get a little old and depressing over the winter months because we do often get a lot of cloudy days and that low-hanging ceiling in the valley that makes you feel pretty trapped. Thankfully, we have Big White where we can pop above the clouds, take in a bluebird day, and that all goes away. As for Calgary, there's no doubt it gets cold. Those prairie winters can definitely get the best of you. But what I will say about Calgary is it probably gets more blue sky and sunshine than anywhere I've ever lived. So you may be freezing, but you definitely have those blue skies to look forward to. Plus, you get the occasional Chinook where it can go from -21 day to 5 to 10 degrees above in just a matter of a couple days, and that usually lasts about 3 to 4 days. So it's always a quick, nice break. You get maybe 1 to 2 of those a season. And the summers are shorter, but they're honestly much more mild. You're probably at an average in the mid to high 20s, which for me, I personally like a little better. But the weather there can be unpredictable. I remember September long being in a baseball tournament, playing outside, swimming, and that Sunday coming home and having a snowstorm that was so big, people were building full snowmen out the next day. Definitely not ideal. So here, I will definitely say Kelowna takes the cake on weather. So next point, access to nature. Now again, you're probably thinking Kelowna is a clear winner here, and yeah, you're right again if we're talking about the city itself. In Kelowna, you can step outside your front door and be on hiking trails, swimming in the lake, in the mountains, and taking in some of the most beautiful scenery that BC has to offer. It's a huge reason why I ended up moving back here. It's going to be tough to find a city that has as easy access to incredible nature like Kelowna does while still having those big city amenities. But Calgary is no slouch. I mean, Birds Hill Park is a tough comparison to even some of Kelowna's smaller parks, but a quick drive out of the city and you're passing the foothills into the Canadian Rocky Mountains. You have places like Kananaskis, Canmore, Banff, Lake Louise, which I think personally are some of the most amazing places in Canada. And thankfully, Calgary is set up well enough that it's easy to get out there, but again, it's not like Kelowna where you can just open your front door and already be there. You're gonna have to put in a little more time and effort to be able to take in that nature. So now let's look at the city itself, and there are pros and cons to both. Kelowna is a moderately sized city, which I personally prefer. I come from a smaller town, so a smaller city really suited my needs well. But it definitely doesn't feel like it when the summer traffic comes in and the tourists start to crowd around here. And in terms of city design, Calgary is absolutely miles ahead of Kelowna. Kelowna's infrastructure and the way the city is laid out did not account for its growth, expansion, and the influx of people we get here during the summer months. I mean, traffic compared to a big city is relative, but that Friday, Sunday bridge traffic that happens every summer coming from Kelowna to West Kelowna is definitely no joke. Calgary, on the other hand, is the best designed city I've ever lived in. It's laid out in a grid pattern with just numbered streets and avenues. It has major roadways running north and west and diagonal across the city with a ring road that gives you easy access to anywhere you need to go. The only thing I didn't personally enjoy about the city was the massive size. I mean, to go and visit even a friend, and if we lived on opposite sides of the city, could take me 45 minutes to an hour, and that's with no traffic. And to me, it's a matter of perspective, because as bad as Kelowna's traffic can be, Calgary during rush hour is no joke. A road like Deerfoot is 8 lanes, it runs north to south, and during rush hour it is bumper to bumper traffic. So it really depends on what your preference is. Kelowna is a lot smaller, still lively, we definitely have a downtown and nightlife, but Calgary I feel has so many more options in terms of straight city appeal, so there I think it's definitely superior to Kelowna. So now let's look at affordability, and yeah, Calgary is going to be the clear runaway winner for this category. Calgary is a much cheaper place to live, whether it's groceries, going out, gas, and definitely real estate. And it's also huge to save money by not having that provincial sales tax. Also too, the Calgary real estate market is really strong. And last month, the average price for a single family detached home was $732,000, compared to the central Okanagan where that average was over $1.1 million. And Kelowna is not outrageously priced compared to big cities like Toronto and Vancouver. I hear people complain and I definitely understand it, but honestly, take a look at the cost of living for the lower mainland and take a look at a lot what the 1,000 square foot teardown home would sell for there. But I'm not naive, I understand it is expensive. We definitely pay for that sunshine tax everybody talks about. There is a cost to live here. Our housing market is incredibly strong, but the prices are very high, and the cost of living definitely rose with inflation. So if I'm comparing the two cities dollar for dollar, Calgary is definitely going to take the cake in this category. So who is each city for? So we can see from what we discussed, there is a healthy balance of lifestyle options for each city. Kelowna is going to be my choice because I believe it is perfect for anybody who wants to live that BC lifestyle without paying the outrageous prices that you would have to on the coast. For anyone who's an outdoor enthusiast that loves long hot summers and short mild winters. And of course why I love it, because it is a city, but it does have a small town feel to it. And I truly do believe it's one of the most beautiful places in all of Canada. And I feel that Calgary is another fantastic option for people who want a more affordable lifestyle and want to have more bang for their buck if they're looking to get into the real estate market. For anybody who doesn't mind winters or doesn't mind driving a little ways for an adventure. And again, if you're into that big city living, and I'm going to say it again, you want to live in one of the more affordable big cities, Calgary is going to be the perfect option for you. So there you have it. That's going to wrap up my video on Calgary versus Kelowna, and I hope I helped you make the decision on what city might be right for you. If you have any questions for me, please reach out to the number on the screen down below, 250-718-3314. And if you or anybody you know is looking to buy in the Okanagan, please reach out to me. I'd be more than happy to help you, and I'm never too busy for your referrals. My goal, as always, is to simplify the real estate process so you don't have to worry about anything. This is my channel, BrettBRealestate. I, of course, am Brett Baholi, and I will catch you in the next video.